Okay, picture this. You're in a historic cemetery in Izmir, Turkey. Every year, huge crowds gather here, and you can just feel the energy in the air. It's this incredible mix of prayer and deep, deep respect for someone who lived centuries ago. So we're going to figure out why.
And this is what it's all about, the tomb of Rabbi Chaim Palachi. But this is way more than just a historical marker. For the thousands of people who travel here from all over the world, it's a place of real devotion, a place to find blessings, and to connect with this powerful spiritual legacy.
This annual gathering is called a Hilula. It's a celebration of his life and everything he taught. And the air is just filled with prayers like this one. It shows you this deep belief people have that his goodness, his virtue, is still offering protection long after he's gone. That is some serious influence.
So that's the real question, isn't it? I mean, how does a rabbi from 19th century Izmir become this global figure that people feel so connected to? What did this man do to earn this kind of lasting reverence?
Well, to answer that, we've got to go back in time. Let's peel back the layers of legend and get to know the man himself.
So here's the quick rundown. He was born way back in 1787 in what was then the Ottoman Empire. He worked his way up through the ranks of rabbinic leadership, and by 1855 he was the chief rabbi, the Hakam Bashi of Izmir. He lived an incredibly long and impactful life, passing away in 1868 at 81 years old.
This quote, wow, it really tells you everything you need to know about his foundation. This wasn't a job he just sort of fell into. In his own words, he describes this relentless, totally all-consuming dedication to learning, right from the time he was a kid. That kind of intellectual power would define his entire life.
But here's the thing. His impact went so far beyond books and studying. He was a social visionary. I mean, this was a leader whose ideas were, in a lot of ways, literally centuries ahead of the world he was living in.
Just think about how modern these reforms sound. We're talking about the mid-1800s, and he's banning corporal punishment for kids and fighting child labor. That's basically an early version of what we now call children's rights. He set up compulsory education, demanded better treatment for workers, he even campaigned against smoking because he saw it as an addiction. These were absolutely revolutionary ideas for his time.
And let me tell you, he was not afraid of a fight, especially when it came to social justice. So when the wealthy elite tried to slap a heavy tax on meat, a basic food staple, he publicly went after them. He saw right through it. It was just a way to put the financial burden on the poorest people. He called it robbery and great injustice, taking a firm stand with the most vulnerable.
His influence wasn't just local either. In 1840, when the Jewish community of Damascus was hit with a false ritual murder charge, a really nasty anti-Semitic event known as the Damascus Affair, Rabbi Palachi got to work. He used his international network, rallying huge figures like Sir Moses Montefiore and Baron Rothschild. And their collective pressure was absolutely crucial in getting those charges dropped and saving that community.
Okay, so we've seen the social reformer and the international activist. But at his very core, Rabbi Palachi was a scholar of just breathtaking productivity.
Just look at that number, over 80 books. And we're not talking about little pamphlets here. These are full-blown works on pretty much every topic you can imagine in Jewish law, philosophy, mysticism, and ethics. The sheer amount of writing he produced is, well, it's staggering.
And get this, in 1841, a huge fire tore through Izmir. His home, along with almost all of his manuscripts, was completely destroyed. Imagine that. A lifetime of work, just gone in a flash. But did he give up? Nope. He just sat down and started rewriting all of it, from memory. That tells you everything about his mind and his spirit.
And his scholarship was never just theoretical, it was intensely practical. His most famous book, Kaf HaChaim, is the perfect example of this. The name itself is this clever play on words. It means the palm of life, because it was designed as a little pocket-sized guide you could literally carry in the palm of your hand. It was all about making complex Jewish law accessible for everyday people.
So you see, it's this combination, this profound scholarship, this social compassion, and this really practical guidance. That's why his legacy isn't just history, it's a living, breathing tradition that's still going strong today.
And this wasn't something that just happened after he was gone. No. Even during his lifetime, he was an international authority. Tough questions on law and ethics would come pouring in from Jewish communities all over the world, from Paris, Morocco, Poland, Iraq, you name it. He was the sage of Izmir, but his wisdom truly reached everywhere. And his teachings also sort of trickled down into these beautiful little folk traditions, or segalot. They're these simple spiritual practices for daily life. You know, the idea that eating something red might help with sadness, or that feeding birds could bring mercy for someone who's sick. It's customs like these that connect his big ideas directly to the hearts and homes of everyday people.
Which brings us right back to where we started, to his tomb. But now, when we look at it, we see so much more, don't we? And there's one last amazing detail. In this entire ancient cemetery, every other grave faces south. His is the only one that faces east. It's like a final, silent statement, a testament to a man who truly stood apart.
In the end, the story of Rabbi Chaim Palachi seems to answer that question. It wasn't just his brilliance or his leadership that built this incredible legacy. It was the way he combined that powerful intellect with an even deeper compassion for his people, for the poor, for the uneducated, for anyone who was wronged. And that kind of echo, well, that's an echo that never fades.